Alright, so let's go ahead and do the hand area. Going to the bottom part here. Let's go ahead and widen this up a bit and make it narrower, because when we extrude out the hand, we don't want it to be too circular at all. Maybe something like that. And definitely the wrist gets smaller around this area. And yeah, that. I'm gonna go to my scrape brush and then just scrape this part out, just kind of flatten things. All right, let's go to our masking, paint mask, and let's go and mask this area out. Control I to invert it. All right, go to the front view, and let's go to the move and set pivot to mask border. And we could go ahead and just kind of move that down like this. And looking from this view, all right, using the grab brush, let's go ahead and kind of widen this out. Alt M to unmask and widen this area out. Might be too long. So when I am thinking of this here, I am thinking of the hand from here, the wrist area up to the knuckle, okay? And from here onto the knuckle, we're gonna have some fingers here, right? And from here up to the middle finger is gonna be roughly the same height, okay? So from the knuckle area to the middle finger. And I think this might be slightly too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and just move that up. Go. Okay, move it up. And I think the wrist could be slightly thinner. And I'm gonna go ahead and go to my draw sharp, regular draw brush, position in, pull it out, smooth that, go, smooth it. This area is sort of flattened. Go. And we're gonna have the ulna bone right about this area, but I'm gonna go ahead and remesh this. Control R. So we got more geometry to work with around here. I'm gonna go to my inflate brush and just kind of inflate this slightly. Inflate that so we have more volume. Using the grab brush, go ahead and move this. Using the draw sharp. We're gonna have some twists going here, some twists going around this area, give it a nice look to our mesh here. Nice twisting going, smooth it. And around this area, we're gonna see mostly tendons, okay? And we're gonna make it more prominent later. But we could just kind of carve in the clay here. Kind of thinking about where the hand's gonna begin. All right. And I'm gonna go from this view, gonna round that out. Go. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and mask this area out. Control I to invert it. Okay, and I'm gonna go to my move. Set pivot to mask border. And I'm gonna go ahead and move that down like that. So when we are gonna be doing the fingers, gonna be somewhat relaxed. This here. Alt M. Control R to remesh that. I'm gonna go to inflate brush and just inflate this so we have more volume to work with. So we're gonna have the hand from here to here, and from here to here. So roughly the same shape. Now, of course, the fingers are gonna be different length, but what you're looking at is going to be like the middle finger is going to be the longest part up to here. And I'm going to go and try to make it longer. And I'm going to go to my regular draw brush and just add some indication of some knuckles around this area. And you don't want it straight like this. You have to think of an arc as you are doing this, okay? And the pinky part is going to be the lowest point. And okay, go ahead and just make this wider. And we could go ahead and mask out the part where we're going to have the thumb area. So I'm going to go and mask this out. Control I to invert it. Looking from this view, and I'm just going to move that down like this. Move it like this. Because we want it to be relaxed. More natural pose. Alt M, Control R to invert it. In. That's good. I'm going to go ahead and add some more remeshing. I'm going to decrease the voxel size so we have more geometry to work with. 0.06, and I'm going to go ahead and remesh that. Alright, and I'm going to go back and add some more indication of the knuckles here. And we could indicate the tendons here. So remember, as I mentioned before, we're going to have this muscle right here, the extensor digitorum, one of the most prominent muscle for the forearm, and that has the tendons going down up to the knuckles and start to kind of fade out around this area, okay? Up to the knuckles starts to fade out. And I'm going to go to the draw sharp and just kind of indicate the fingers here. Of course, we're going to be creating some individual fingers here later, but it's good to have something here just so we could have a general idea of how long we want the fingers to be, how short we want it to be. Press dot in your numpad if you're having a hard time navigating, and pull that up. Alright. And around this area, I'm going to go use my grab brush. Make this wider, of course. There you go. Wider. I'm going to go to my clay strip brush, add some fatty pads in this area, in here. Draw sharp to just carve this in. So when I'm thinking about this, I'm just thinking about the fat pads. We have 1, 2, 3, and then we have this depth here that kind of looks like a triangle. So I'm thinking that shape as I'm doing that part there. Palm of the hand. Carve this in. And I'm trying to sculpt here, and you see it has issues at the back because this area is a little thin. So I'm going to use my inflate brush to inflate this. Inflate that instead. And using my grab brush. I'll pull this up. I'm going to go to my draw sharp and kind of holding control, pull that out. And then I want to think about the bony landmark here for the lower arm here. So we have the hand. So we got to think about the ulna. So the ulna is going to be like right around this area. Here you go. And what I like to do is I like to use the draw sharp, hold control, and then just add like some kind of tendon going around this way and also here, kind of like this area. Push that in. Some tendons around here. Hold control. So just gives more of that muscular look. I'm gonna add some fatty pads around this area. Okay, and I think I could kind of pull this down. This, you don't want it to be too bulky. Pull this up. When we are doing the fingers, you have to think of it as going this way, and then let's say it's just gonna go infinitely. If you draw all the way like this and all the way like this, it should kind of meet up at some point if you kind of draw. So the hands is not 100% straight like this. It makes it look more natural if you kind of have this kind of like diamond shape going. We're gonna separate that a little bit later on when we do individual fingers, but it's still good to have that in mind, that shape that I showed you. Control. I think I'm gonna go back to my remesher. I'm gonna set this to 0.055, and I'm gonna go and remesh that. All right, and once that's all done, this area is too puffy. I'm gonna go to my scrape brush and flatten that out. Carve this in. We're very low poly right now on our hands here, but we are going to make this into a separate mesh, and then that way we could add more polygon just on the hand area. But as we're doing this, we could go ahead and mask out half of the finger area here. Control I to invert it. And then we could go to our paint mask, just kind of smooth it. And then let's go to our rotate. It's best to smooth out the edges. When you paint mask the edges and smooth it, and then you go to sculpt, set pivot to mask border, Blender's gonna know where you want that rotation tool to be, right at the edge of the border, okay? And then we could kind of rotate it like this because we do want a slight bend here. Alt M. Alright, move this here and here. So I'll make it slightly longer. And could also, looking in this view, let's see here from this view, kind of move this down. All right. So we gotta, think of the bony landmarks as we are doing this. So we have 1, 2, 3 going, and could go to the inflate brush and inflate this slightly. Right. And what I also want to do is I want to go ahead and mask out this area here. And we could go ahead and unmask that, smooth it, and smooth it. Okay, Control I to invert it. Mask this area out. Okay, and then we could go to our rotate, and let's go ahead and set the pivot to mask border, and we want to have it slightly rotated, so we have more of that relaxed feel to this, so we have more of a relaxed feel to the overall piece. Something like that. Alt M. Alt M. There you go. All right. think looking at this here, we could probably I think I feel still a little bit of stiffness going on the hand area. I'm going to go to sculpt mode and kind of pull it up. Go. I think I made the bicep slightly too long. Pull it up. Also pull this up. This might be too long, the deltoid area. All right. Going all around, looking at it. Okay, I think for this one, let me see if I could go ahead and mask this area out. And I'm gonna go ahead and paint mask, smooth out the edges. See, maybe we could make this even more relaxed, the arm. Relax and more natural. Control I to invert it. Okay, and I'm gonna go to my rotation, sculpt, set, mask, pivot to mask border, and I'm just gonna slightly rotate it like that. Alright. And looking from this view, maybe slightly like this. Yeah, you don't want it too straight like that. You want it slightly relaxed. Alt M, I'm gonna go to my grab brush, pull this way, this way. Alright. Looking from this view and this view, seems like right around this area, it's not 100%. Gotta increase the details coming in this area. Okay, good. Alright. And right now, the fingers might be a little too stiff, but once we add those individual fingers, we're definitely going to make them more relaxed. Going to go ahead and smooth this out. And then you can add the side tendon here. Push this in, carve that in, smooth it. And I think for the hands here, let me see, I think I could probably, I do want it to be a lot more relaxed. I feel it has that stiff vibe going for the hands. So I'm going to go ahead and mask out this area. And I'm going to go ahead and smooth it. And smooth it. Control I. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go to rotate. Set pivot to mask border, and I'm gonna go ahead and just gonna rotate it going this way slightly, like that. Yeah, so that's looking better. This definitely looking better. Just a slight rotation would be good. And let me see if I could kind of rotate. See here, gonna rotate it this way. Nope, that's not gonna look good. How about this way? Kind of twist it like that. Yeah, I think if I kind of rotate it this way. Nope. Don't want to break his hand. Yeah, I think something like this would be good. All right. Okay, so definitely a lot more relaxed, which we're gonna be making things a lot more relaxed when we do the individual fingers, because we're gonna be making them a lot more curvier. So we have 1, 2, 3. So if you say this is the hand area, we're gonna have the thumb area right here, and we got the index finger, and then we're gonna have the other fingers here, very relaxed later on. Okay, but yeah, I think this is a good start